The Androscoggin River Valley in western Maine. The people, the places, the history, all that makes up the vibrant story of the towns of the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine.
Hello, and welcome to the July 2018 edition of Today River Valley. Today River Valley is the video news feature program for the towns of the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine. My name is Phil Blampede. I'm the host and producer of the program. There's been a lot of concern lately about how to identify what they call red flags, showing when mentally ill people might be about to harm themselves or others. With the mass shootings that have been linked to mental illness and the incident recently in Sanford where a lady with a history of mental illness drove on a ball field and wound up killing a man, there's been increased concern about what the government might do to be able to spot people like this before something happens. In this edition, we're going to be talking to people in the forefront of the mental health care system in Maine about exactly what those red flags might be and who should be responsible for spotting them. The answer might surprise you. It could be you. All that and more after messages from local businesses.
Today River Valley is sponsored by the Sudbury Inn, lodging, fine dining, and a lively pub right on Main Street in Bethel, Maine.
The Sudbury Inn. Now's the time for a getaway to a charming village like Bethel, Maine, and a stay in the historic Sudbury Inn right in the heart of the village of Bethel, where the table is set and waiting for you and the bed is quilted and pillowed and beckoning you for a good night's sleep in the country air. Whether you come for hiking the western Maine mountains, playing the great Bethel area golf courses, or browsing the quaint knickknacks in local shops, the Sudbury Inn will welcome you back at the end of the day with fine dining in its main dining room, or pub fare and live music in its popular Sud's Pub downstairs. It may be located in a small village, but the Sudbury Inn strives to offer world-class cuisine. The menu changes with the seasons, yet always offers popular classics. And yes, the inn is affordable. Guests are surprised to find how reasonable room rates are, even though a generous kitchen-cooked full breakfast is included. Besides individual rooms, the inn also offers rustic apartment-sized pet-friendly suites for families or large groups. Make this month a memorable one with a stay this season at the Sudbury Inn, which, as the magazine Bon Appetit put it, is a perfect way to end a day in Bethel.
Excuse me, sir, are you getting a little shaggy around the ears but can't find time for a haircut? Well, now you can. At Lisa's Barbershop at 178 Main Street in Mexico, owner Lisa Shardlow specializes in quick haircuts. No appointment is necessary and there's rarely a wait. At Lisa's, the motto is cut and go.
July, as everybody knows, was named in honor of the Roman Emperor Julius Caesar, after whom the Caesar salad was also named. If your hair is making you look less like an emperor and more like a salad, come to Lisa's this month and get it trimmed.
Open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to noon.
Lisa's, where you can get a haircut worthy of an emperor. Your Cleopatra will thank you.
Bethel Outdoor Adventure on Route 2 in Bethel, Maine. Kayaking, paddleboarding, canoe and kayak trips, tubing down the river, sluicing for precious stones, and camping in a park-like setting.
What we offer here is family-friendly adventure in a stunningly beautiful location. We're in the mountains of western Maine. We're on the shores of the Androscoggin River. It is really a beautiful, beautiful place for you to come and recreate.
Nothing beats camping out in western Maine in the summer, and at Bethel Outdoor Adventure, you'll find a gem of a campground. Small, family-friendly, impeccably maintained, and with full hookups and space for everything from the largest RV to the smallest tents. Ask about our group sites. The campground is right on the river with river access, and there are hot showers with unlimited hot water. Summer is a special time in New England. Make the most of it at Bethel Outdoor Adventure.
Create your own legend for the woman who knows who she is, what she wants, and makes no apologies for either. Goddess Robes, a unique store on Route 26 in Bryant Pond featuring custom-designed, one-of-a-kind robes and caftans.
This is Diane Dupuis, owner and designer of Goddess Robes. The Goddess Robe is based on the old tradition, the ancient tradition of an honoring robe. The design of a goddess robe has a fluid dynamic, so when a woman moves forward, the robe possesses a movement dynamic that allows it to be fluid as well. It's energizing, and it appeals to anyone watching as a woman moves forward. Imagine yourself in a graceful and dignified motion when you put a goddess robe on. The femininity portrayed through strength is conveyed through the movement of a goddess robe. Goddess robes can be worn at home, or you can wear it out for an evening wrap over a very simple outfit, and it can serve as a formal cloak. In a world where everything is homogenized, why not make your own statement? Be who you are, wear it outwardly, and celebrate it. You are the queen of your universe, the goddess of your world. Make no apologies for who you are. Goddess Robes.
Goddess Robes on Route 26 in Bryant Pond.
Hi, this is Kevin Frisbee from Frisbee & Associates. As you near retirement, financial assurance becomes more important and harder to understand. We can help because we specialize in asset and wealth management, annuities, long-term care, Social Security planning, and more. Stop struggling with retirement questions. Contact the experienced team at Frisbee & Associates. You can find us online at frisbeebenefits.com, call us, or visit us. Do something about your retirement. Contact us today.
The selection in the beer cave at Mountain Valley Variety on Route 2 in Rumford, Maine is so fantastic, people are coming from everywhere to see it.
Captain Bill to Enterprise.
This is Enterprise. Come in, Captain.
I've landed in what appears to be a 21st century beer cave.
A beer cave? How peculiar.
Judging by the beer, this seems to be quite an advanced civilization with the many astonishing brands and varieties.
Captain, can you describe further?
Something to tell me that if they don't have what you want, just ask and they'll get it for you.
How's that, Captain?
Hey, Rick, can you get me Alpha Centauri Dragon Moon IPA?
Captain, stay in character.
Oh yeah, beam me up, Scotty.
Hi, my name is Rachel from the Verizon Wireless Zone in Mexico, Maine, and you're watching Today River Valley, the video news feature program for the towns in Androscoggin Valley in western Maine.
In the United States, it's never been easy to find good care for people with mental illness, and for many years, the public didn't care that much. There were too many other things to spend money on. Now, though, with a spate of shootings by people who were subsequently deemed to be mentally ill, and right here in Maine, the incident in Sanford on June 1st when a woman with a history of mental illness killed a man and threatened many others by driving onto a crowded baseball field, there are calls for the government to find the so-called red flags, that is, signs that some people show that they may be mentally ill and dangerous to others. Is this even possible? And will it mean that the public is finally ready to improve the system of care for the mentally ill?
What I will say is that in 2018, January 1st, 2018, there were half the number of crisis workers in the city of Portland as there were in 2014. So what that means is we have decimated the crisis mental health system in this state, and the workforce has been dramatically reduced. It's a crisis that I don't understand how it is allowed to continue.
I believe the best line of defense in spotting red flags is by the community, family, and friends, and those who know individuals that are at risk of making poor choices and demonstrating unsafe behaviors. It's the individuals that interact with people on a daily or weekly basis that would best be able to identify when someone is slipping off baseline and having disturbing or psychotic thoughts that could lead to very threatening and unsafe behaviors for the community.
Only 6% of crimes committed by a person with any type of mental health diagnosis is there a causational relationship between their diagnosis and their action. Otherwise, their actions are their action. But our society wants to blame it on mental illness because it feels neat and clean. We're just going to say it's those crazy people, when in fact that is not what research says.
Jenna Maynard is the executive director of the National Alliance on Mental Illness, known as NAMI, in Maine.
There's quantified risk assessment tools that the nation could use if they really wanted to engage in who should have guns and who shouldn't. The challenge is they are not the marginalized people of people with a diagnosis, who are 11 times more likely to be the victim of a crime than ever perpetrate a crime, and even people who experience psychosis. If I could cure bipolar and schizophrenia today, according to UCLA, I would decrease the violent crime rate in this country by a whopping 4%. They are not the people who are committing crimes.
Family and friends, not the government, may be the ones who are really in the position of discovering that someone is becoming mentally ill, but the task of getting the needed care is not an easy one.
The process is so slow, and the number of beds available is as bad or worse. Don't expect anything to happen overnight. It just doesn't work that way.
No, accessing the mental health system in Maine is not easy. It works that maybe you can see a counselor if you have insurance, and if there's one in your area. If you get someone who's willing to go to a counselor, and you actually find a counselor who matches, then we have the challenge in the state where we have hardly any evidence-based treatment modalities being implemented. Things like cognitive behavioral therapy, rapid eye movement desensitization for trauma, family group decision-making, multisystemic therapy. These are expensive modalities for clinicians to provide. They have evidence that they will make differences in people's lives. However, Maine Care pays the same rate if I just sit and do traditional old-school talk therapy, which doesn't cost me anything else to learn, or if I go away and become specialized in specific evidence-based modalities that'll make me more effective with you, I get the same rate from Maine Care. So there's no incentive, and community-based mental health agencies can't afford those additional costs. And unfortunately, we get lots of calls from families who are waiting 2 to 3 weeks in a hospital gurney in a hall for their loved one to be able to access a psychiatric bed. We only have Spring Harbor, Acadia, and Riverview, and a few beds at Dorothea Dix as options. And those programs, Acadia and Spring Harbor, have the right of refusal. They don't have to take any patient that doesn't fit with their current mix of patients. And then Riverview is pretty tapped out at times, not just because of people going in, but because of the challenge of how do we transition people back into the community who don't need that level of care anymore.
Because it takes so much time in places like Maine to get the care the mentally ill need, it's believed it's better to recognize a possible mental health problem in a friend or family member as soon as possible.
The younger the child or individual, and the earlier one can identify symptoms and concerns of an emerging mental illness, the better. Statistics show this: the earlier you can provide intervention, the better the long-term outcome for an individual. So as parents are recognizing symptoms and behaviors in a young adult, if they can get the services in place and get supports in place to address the diagnosis and provide support services, the less severe the symptoms may be over one's life.
Stephanie LeBlanc is the Executive Director of the Oxford County Mental Health Services in Rumford.
Typically there are minor signs and symptoms that will emerge that cue a family to the fact that their loved one may be developing symptoms and a mental health diagnosis. So for families that are beginning to see symptoms such as withdrawal, isolation, disconnect from normal activities, impulsivity, overstimulated by external stimuli, so sounds, noises are overwhelming. That's when family members begin to question whether or not there's a mental health diagnosis emerging. And it's often a very difficult step to take in finding services because there's no clear point where you should consult a doctor or outreach a mental health professional. I would say families typically outreach other family members and peers to discuss what they may be seeing, and the largest struggle families will run into in accessing mental health services is getting the individual that's actually being impacted by the mental illness willing and engaged in getting help.
Find out all you can about what's going on. Talk with the teachers. Talk with keep in touch with other parents of his friends or her friends. If you see changes in dress, eating habits.
Dorothy Adams is a Hanover resident and a NAMI volunteer whose son, Derek, suffered from mental illness.
When things start to happen that are away from the norm, and Their hygiene changes. They don't take care of themselves. They isolates. Reach out. Do reach out. Don't try to do it all yourself. It's difficult to get past the stigma and the embarrassment. But if you're really serious about getting help for the person and with making the situation, trying to make things better, be passionate about it and try to get involved and try to do something to help. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
For many in Maine, the first step in asking for help is to use one of two toll-free mental health hotlines. One, the Maine Crisis Hotline, is for emergencies and is available 24 hours a day. It's 1-888-568-1112. This line is particularly oriented toward those who may pose a danger to themselves or to others.
The crisis helpline at 1-888-568-1112 is the best and most direct way to get immediate support and triage to the most appropriate level of care. They'll either connect you to a community-based resource that's near you that you can connect with, or a warm line, which is a peer support line, just someone you can talk to, and provide other resources that may be available in your area to provide the support one needs in whatever situation is bringing distress.
In situations which are not an emergency, there is a helpline run by NAMI Maine through which callers can be guided to mental health resources and have a chance to take some time to discuss their situation. It's available weekdays during business hours at 1-800-464-5767.
If I was a family member and I was struggling with what to do, the first thing I would do, NAMI is funded through the closure of AMHI, through the consent decree, when AMHI was closed. NAMI is funded for a helpline that operates during the day, which has a designated staff person and not 20-minute waits to have a conversation about what are all your resources in your area, what are your potential avenues, where is the person's willingness to engage, and try to come up with a plan. Family members need to recognize that it is a journey, that often their role needs to be supportive and not judgment, and not be frustrated when someone doesn't immediately find the answer to being in a better place.
I've watched people in my family and my community reach retirement and be unaware of the options that are available, so they won't run out of money. I realized that many people I spoke with were unsure who they could even turn to for help with retirement planning. I want people to be able to make the best of every situation possible, even when they're facing the toughest of decisions. I've seen them stress on how they'll pay their bills and not be able to focus on what really matters in life, and that's time with their family. I decided it was time to step up and focus on advocating for the financial well-being of the people in my community. I'm doing this work because I want to make a difference in people's lives. I'll walk you through each step of the process, educating, guiding, and giving you the information that will empower you to make informed choices for you and your family through the retirement planning process.
Good Karma Cafe and Health Foods is the place to go for lunch in Rumford.
Hey, you might not see me for a while. It's the Unknown Comic. The Unknown Comic. I've been bombing on stages everywhere. And when I bomb on stage, I really need something to pick me up, and I come down to Good Karma for the brown bag lunch. In the brown bag lunch, I get chips, a wrap, chicken salad, my favorite, a drink to drown my sorrows, an apple, and my favorite part, not the cookie, the pickles. Good Karma Cafe, the brown bag lunch. Come get it.
Good Karma Cafe and Health Foods, open Monday through Saturday.
Hi, I'm Roger Whitehouse, owner and designated broker of Riverside Realty right here in Mexico, Maine. At Riverside Realty, we're not just selling houses, we're selling our experience and knowledge to help you through the pitfalls and opportunities of purchasing a new property. Stop by Riverside Realty and let us show you how a full-service real estate office can help you. Hope to see you soon.
This is MLS 1354139, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath farmhouse on Andover Road in Rumford with the many closets, nooks, and crannies found in older farmhouses. The main floor has been remodeled and there is a 10x40 seasonal porch, as well as an in-ground pool, a large barn with a 2-car garage, a shed, a blacksmith shop original to the farm, a chicken house, 4 garden areas, great mountain views, and 630 feet of water frontage on the Ellis River, offered at $310,000. This is MLS 1355447, a 2-room camp cottage in Andover located on Black Brook with open living, a screened porch, and a large garage on 4.2 acres. The property has solar power, gas lights, and a generator and is a short distance to the Appalachian Trail, offered at $144,900. At Dan's Automotive, you'll find reliable used cars in the $3,000 to $8,000 range. You'll get more car for less money. Here's a great example of what's available at Dan's. Warning, this will probably be sold by the time you see this ad, but if you get lucky, you may still have a chance at this 2004 Ford Ranger XLT with automatic 4.0 6-cylinder, 4-wheel drive, air conditioning, and power locks and windows. Books for $8,000, but offered here at Dan's for only $6,995.
We bought our car at Dan's and we're glad we did.
Dan's Automotive Repair and Sales, Crescent Avenue, Rumford. Everyone knows Stony Brook Recreation on Route 2 in Hanover is a great choice for family camping in western Maine. Many people also know the variety store that opened there a couple of years ago, offering everything from milk and eggs to wine and beer to homemade donuts on Saturdays. But did you know Stony Brook now has a full country diner-style dining room serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Come by, grab a table by the old wood stove, and enjoy good home-style cooking with friendly service.
Hi, this is Bruce at Stony Brook Variety. We're open 7 days a week, so please stop by and enjoy our new expanded dining room.
Hi, this is Roger Whitehouse of Riverside Realty in Mexico, Maine, and you're watching Today River Valley, the video news feature program of the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine.
In the last segment, we looked at what the red flags may be when someone is becoming mentally ill and might be at risk of injuring themselves or others. People in the forefront of the mental health system explained that the family and friends of the person involved are the only ones who have a realistic chance of spotting those red flags and doing something about them. But how can untrained, ordinary people identify signs of something as complicated as mental illness? In Maine, there's a class for that. It's called Mental Health First Aid, and like the first aid for physical injuries, it can teach regular people the right way to respond to emergencies, in this case, mental rather than physical.
So when I became executive director, I looked for something that was going to be for everybody. And Mental Health First Aid was started in Australia by a woman who was an emergency room nurse who saw the number of lives saved by basic first aid and the number of lives lost to suicide. And she thought, we instill a basic skill set, Heimlich maneuver, CPR, snake bites, with everybody for physical health, and we do nothing for mental health. So she and her husband set out to create this program that's now in 19 countries. It's brought to the United States by the National Council on Behavioral Health. It's in the National Registry of Evidence-Based Practices and Programs. It's an 8-hour class that talks about signs and symptoms of depression, anxiety, psychosis, panic disorder, responses to trauma, substance use, and really helps people not just talk about what they look like, but how would you have a conversation with someone if you knew that your best friend was struggling with depression? How would you have a conversation with someone about anxiety? Because it's not to say calm down, but that's one of the most common things that people with anxiety disorders get told. How do you support a person who's experiencing psychosis? I get asked all the time, well, do I tell them that the person they see isn't real? Do I tell them I see the person they see? How do I best support and respond to them? So it's an 8-hour class. It leads to a 3-year national certification. NAMI means teachers are nationally certified because it is a national program.
There are mental health first aid courses, and I firmly believe that every person, say 17, 18, right up through, should take. It's like regular first aid, but it's for mental health. And you never know when you might meet someone in the grocery store or on the street, in a shop, in church, anywhere you are, with any group you're involved with or not involved with. on a daily basis. Somebody could be having a mental health issue or a substance abuse issue, and that will help you know what to do to help that person.
The fee for the mental health first aid class offered by NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, is $60, and upcoming classes in Maine include August 6th in South Paris, August 10th in Jay, August 14th in Milo, August 16th in Lincoln, and August 22nd in Dover-Foxcroft. Check the NAMI website at namimaine.org for details.
I'm sure everybody knows somebody who has a mental health issue, whether it's in their immediate family or in a neighborhood, in a workplace, in a wherever, whatever social situation you may be in. You never know when someone may, you may find yourself in a situation to wish you knew how to help.
The idea is, look at all the lives we've saved by first aid. Think of all the lives we could save with mental health first aid, recognizing that in 2014, it was the first year we lost more 10 to 14-year-olds to suicide than traffic fatalities.
In the meantime, as mentioned in the last segment, there are helplines and hotlines in Maine that can direct callers to care for mental illness. In emergencies, the best number is the Maine Crisis Hotline at 1-888-568-1112. In less urgent situations, people who want to learn about what they might do to get help for mental illness can call the helpline run by NAMI Maine at 1-800-464-5767. Both lines are toll-free.
Hi, my name is Rachel Henderson. I'm the store manager at the Verizon Wireless Zone in Mexico, Maine. Our store has been in operation since early 2011, and I've personally been serving the River Valley area since 2013. Over these last years, I've come to find a deep respect for the people of this valley. Your hard work, honesty, and strong sense of community are just a few of the qualities I admire. I speak on behalf of our entire Verizon team when I say thank you for your support.
At Puya Lumber, you'll find the tools and supplies you need for everything you've got on your to-do list this summer. If the roof needs attention, check out Puya's full stock of IKO roofing. Why not enjoy the nicer weather with a deck with Puya's deck packages, hammer ready? And why not make that driveway look like new again with an application of Sacrete Driveway Sealer, always in stock at Puya's. Puya Lumber, 369 River Road, Route 2, Mexico, Maine, 364-9999. The place is called Northern Lights Hearth and Sports, and it's right on the main road at 639 Wilton Road, that's Route 2 in Farmington. Let's take a look at the sports part of Northern Lights Hearth and Sports, and this summer, it's a selection of bicycles and accessories, everything from road bikes to mountain bikes to fat tire bikes for mud and, sooner or later, snow. Come in and try one of our demonstration models, and to help you get your bike to distant trails, Northern Lights offers the Thule system of bike racks for your car, the quality leader in racks and accessories. Northern Lights, open Monday through Saturday. The Jolly Drayman Pub and the Briarley Inn, a gracious inn in Bethel, Maine with an authentic British pub featuring classic pub fare.
This is Helena at the Jolly Drayman Briarley Inn. Stop by, come to see us. Looking forward to your visit.
After dinner, indulge yourself with a stay in one of the comfortable rooms upstairs in the Briarley Inn, featuring cuddly blankets, down feather pillows, soft linens, fluffy towels, and casual rustic decor. The Jolly Drayman, the authentic British pub in Bethel, Maine, located in the Briarley Inn. Washing machines are offering more and more features each year. Well, you may not find anything quite like this yet at Larson's Electric Service in Mexico, but you'll find the latest in everything from washing machines to refrigerators to stoves. With Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Maytag brands, Larson's offers free delivery and setup of your new appliance plus removal of your old appliance. Now celebrating over 60 years in business, Larson's, 13 Main Street, Mexico, Maine.
Today River Valley is sponsored by the Sudbury Inn, lodging, fine dining, and a lively pub right on Main Street in Bethel, Maine.
That's it for the July 2018 edition of Today River Valley. This is Phil Blampede, the host and producer of the program. You can always find this program and back editions at the website, todayrivervalley.com. Well, the hot weather's here, the one time of year when there's no doubt we're much happier to be in Maine than in Florida, so enjoy. See you next month.